out that you have gestational diabetes is like finding out you failed your SATs. My heart sunk, feeling like this dread of my life is coming to an end. Hi everyone, let's talk about pregnancy. I am currently 38 weeks pregnant. Next week, if baby does not come, I will have to get induced on Valentine's Day, which is absolutely insane. We've made it to the final stretch, and I wanted to just take a seat and kind of talk about it, walk you through my experience. I really want to preface this. Everyone's experience is just so different. This is just my experience, and I'm hoping that maybe it can help anyone who is pregnant or anyone who's looking to get pregnant, or just anyone who is curious, I guess. Let's just sit and chat and just talk about how it's been. I'm gonna break it up into threes. First, I'm gonna talk about my first trimester. For my first trimester, I think Jay and I found out that I was pregnant around June. I found out very close to my 30th birthday that I was pregnant. And the story is that we were not really trying. It was kind of just like, if it happens, it happens. And it was a very interesting experience. I think when I told Jay about it, both of us had a very similar reaction, which was we're supposed to feel happy, but at the same time, it was a little daunting. And at the same time, it was also a dread and a burden that came upon both of us. I think there was a lot of guilt when I first found out I was pregnant, because I was like, I should be happy that I'm pregnant, but at the same time, I'm not, because I don't feel ready. And then I started getting really sad because I was feeling like this dread of my life is coming to an end. You're excited and happy, but you're also sad. And then you're also like, what is this emotion? And then you feel guilt. That was how we found out we were pregnant. It's also really strange to find out that you're pregnant, because until you go to the ultrasound, nothing feels real. You just feel a little bit bloated, kind of like if you're on your period. But it's not until you get to the ultrasound and you actually see on the screen that you're like, oh shoot, there's actually a baby inside of me. And then for my first trimester, thankfully I was not extremely nauseous. However, there were certain foods that I absolutely could not eat or look at. And a lot of these foods were actually from my trip from Canada. So that was when I found out I was like 6 weeks pregnant, around there. I can't even watch my Canada vlog anymore because looking at those food items still make me a little bit nauseous. The main things that I really couldn't eat were steak, tomatoes, and garlic. Those three things were like, even thinking about it, made me want to barf. Other than that, I was pretty much okay. And I remember during that time, my fixation was like fruits. I was obsessed with fruits. Whenever you get asked what you want to eat, you're like, I don't know what I want to eat. I know I need to eat something, but I don't want to eat anything, but I need to eat something. It's like this whole cycle. So I do know that I did not eat healthy in any way. I just wanted chips and fruit and candy, and that was like the extent of what I could and wanted to eat. That was basically my first trimester. Hardest thing was figuring out like how to feed your body without getting nauseous. A lot of people thought I was gonna have a girl because everyone was telling us like, oh, I think you're gonna have a girl. I think you're gonna have a girl. That was the expectation that Jay and I also had. And I was so excited because I really wanted a girl first. My second trimester, I believe, is when we found out about the gender. When we found out that it was a boy, there was a lot of gender disappointment. Like my heart sunk a little. And it was just sad because I was like, you know, I should love the baby regardless if it's a boy or if it's a girl. But I think I just always envisioned my life with a baby girl because I have such a close-knit relationship with my mom, and I wanted that to be the same for my life. And so when I found out it was a boy, it took us a few days to get over it. But now we are very thankful and very happy that he is healthy and he is baby boy. Aside from the gender disappointment though, the second trimester was amazing. I felt like I was myself again. I felt like I wasn't even pregnant. I had a lot of energy for some reason. I would say second trimester is when things kind of go back up because you're not as nauseous, kind of back into the rhythm of things, and you feel a little bit more alive. So second trimester was great. However, the bad thing about second trimester, towards the end, towards like the beginning of my third trimester, is when we found out that I had gestational diabetes. Finding out that you have gestational diabetes is like finding out you failed your SATs. It was devastating. I was so sad. The drink that they give you is freaking disgusting, okay? Especially the 3-hour one. It's like 10 times bigger than the 1-hour one, but you have to stay at the hospital for 3 hours. And I wanted to puke because it is like the most sugary drink ever. If you don't know what gestational diabetes is, basically your body can't break down certain sugars, so you have to start monitoring what you're eating. So when I found out I got gestational diabetes, I was really disappointed in myself. I was also kind of aggravated. I had a lot of anger because I felt like it was so unfair. And this was also during like Christmas and Thanksgiving. I couldn't even eat sugary things, which was mentally just terrible. I had a really hard time actually. I felt a lot of resentment and I was just so unhappy. And I think that's kind of also what made this pregnancy really hard, is because it was in combination with the fact that I had to constantly monitor my sugar. I have to prick myself like 4 times a day every time I eat. I felt kind of lonely and just a little sad. I guess it kind of forced me to eat a little bit healthier and to watch my diet a lot more than I previously did. So there are some pros to it, but it was definitely one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing of this pregnancy. Third trimester has been really hard physically because I have been getting very sick. It's like the worst when you're sick and you're pregnant and then you also have gestational diabetes and you're just like dying. I was also sick a couple weeks ago because I got the stomach bug. Third trimester's just been rocking my world. So what has this pregnancy taught me? It's taught me to continue to do the things that I love. Just because you got pregnant doesn't mean that your world ends there. And so I think it's just been reminding me to not give up on myself just because I'm having a baby. This pregnancy has also taught me a lot of discipline. It's forced me to look at things differently, whether it is my diet or whether it's my lifestyle. I think last thing is it has really been teaching me to accept the unknown and just be okay with not knowing everything. I felt so overwhelmed during this pregnancy because there's so much information out there. There's so much advice that everyone will give you and throw at you. And I just want to say that if you are pregnant or you're thinking of getting pregnant, don't listen to everything. There's so many videos on TikTok where it's like, you need to buy these 10 items for your baby. And if you do feel overwhelmed, that's perfectly normal. I just think it's good to step away and just not consume yourself with all of this stuff. You don't have to feel like you need to know everything. Give yourself a little bit more space and breathing room to actually take the time to learn things when you want to, not when it's like shoved down your throat. Oh my God, I'm so out of breath. That was basically my entire pregnancy journey. I hope it was helpful to some people. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone, see ya.